Hello students. We are going to deal with the topic called perception in consumer behavior. So what exactly perception is, or different types of perception, and what is perceived risk, okay, and detailed things we are going to study now. So let's begin with this. What exactly the perception is? So perception, how a person see world around him, okay. So that is the question mark. How each person recognizes, select, organize, and interpret the stimuli based on his or her own needs, values, and expectations. So these questions comes to the marketer's mind, how actually he sees, how actually he recognize, select, organize, and interpret the stimuli based on his needs or her needs, and on the basis of values and expectations. So the process by which an individual uses information to create a meaningful picture of the world by selecting, organizing, and interpreting. So he select, he organize, and he interpret on basis of his the perception. So perception is important because people selectively perceive what they want and it affects how people see risk in a purchase. So when you go to purchase something, obviously you perceive something about something. You have a set of perception in your mind. You might have seen some YouTube video of bloggers. Okay, you might have seen some technical guru, expert guru. You listen them. So how it impacts on your perception, and you will read some reviews, our reviews, and there is so many things you analyze and you see. So according to that, you select it and you organize it and you interpret it. Let's move. So stimuli is the most important part. So stimuli is the plural form of stimulus that we have already studied in the initial of the consumer behavior. A stimulus is any unit of input to any of the sense. Okay. So any senses, any human has his own senses. So stimulus might be anything which act as an input. So example, product, packages, brand names, advertisements, and commercials. If I say Coca-Cola, so something comes in your mind. If I say Audi, if I say Tata, if I say Reliance, if I say Cipla, so something or other things comes in your mind when you see. So your sense works. When you go to retail stores, your sense starts working. Okay. So let's see the elements of perception. The first comes the sensation. So sensation is the immediate and direct response of the sensory organs to stimuli. So we have our own senses. Okay, we are attracted by color. We are attracted by smell. We hear something and we believe. Okay, we feel. Okay, these are all part of the sensation. So if you see, the sensor receptory are human organs or sensory organ that receive sensory inputs. The eyes to see, cloth, color, we attract with the lightings. Ears to hear, we take information which has been presented. Nose to smell, okay. Mouth to taste, we can taste something and we can uh, perceive something from it. Skin to feel it, the smoothness. So if you use Dove, that on a skin, there's talk about smoothness. So it's taste. If you talk about thumbs up, they say taste the thunder. Okay, nose to smell the real fragrance. Ears to hear the information which is given for a mutual funds. You can say something. Eyes to see and believe. So next comes the element is the absolute threshold. So, what is absolute threshold? The lowest level at which an individual can experience a sensation. It's a lowest level. So, the point at which a person can detect a difference between something and nothing. That is called absolute threshold for that stimulus. Say an example: the distance at which a driver can note a specific billboard on a highway is that individual's absolute threshold. Okay, so you might have experienced this absolute threshold. Okay, so if we see, so for example, if we look at ambush marketing, so which those consist of placing ads in a place where the consumer do not expect to see them and cannot readily avoid. So it can be examples includes names stand on legs in a supermarket, or a featured on video screens in taxis, placed in subway tunnels between stations, or featured on doctors' examination tables. And next one of the another thing we can say that is experiential marketing, which allows customers to engage and interact with brands, products, and services in sensory ways in order to create emotional bonds between consumer and marketing of things. So if you look at examples of this method, it includes consumers' opportunity closely to examine race cars. Okay, you can test drive, you can do. Okay, you can go to some retail, they will tell you to taste it. So these are the formula. Now, sensory adaptation. So it is a problem that concerns many national advertisers, which is why they try to change their advertising campaign regularly. So because obviously you're looking at one thing, you might change. So always marketers look to change the advertising campaign. The only reason they think that the ads will no longer provide sufficient sensory input to be noted. You might have observed Airtel, you might have observed Pepsi, Coca-Cola. They have come up with the new advertisements. So other reasons, they are using so much clutter, or they are decreasing sensory input, the old advertisement. They are placing their ads in unusual or technological media. Package designers try to determine consumers' absolute threshold. Coming to the differential threshold, the minimal difference that can be detected between two similar stimuli. So that is called differential threshold. The price of a juice pack can't notice, but the price of milk powder or electricity will be noticed. So you might have observed this. If you give tip 50 rupees, that is not a much problem for you. But if 2-3 rupees deducted from your bank account, or 2-3 rupees from your, for example, from your communication company, telecom company, that will be noticed. Okay. If 50-60 rupees costing one pack of juice is not much bothered, but looking at milk, it bothers a lot because frequently it is used. So it is also known as just noticeable difference. We call it as JND. Marketing implication of JND, if you see. So JND, I hope you should know, just noticeable difference. So manufacturer marketers use JND for their products for two reasons. One is negative changes. Okay, reduction in product size or quality increase the product price. Two things you can, size will be reduced or price will be reduced. So easily you can differentiate it. So product improvement, low price, updated packaging, larger size. If you look at old Parle-G packet and present Parle packet, it is different. Old biscuit packets and present biscuit packets are different. So they always change. That can be easily. So these are used by the marketers. Now, fourth is subliminal perception. When people pursue the thing at the level beyond they should be is called subliminal perception. If you see, an example is a Bangla film. Okay. And next comes the subliminal perception. When people pursue the thing at the level above they should be is called supraliminal perception. We can say English film. Okay, so you can compare with both subliminal perception, so and supraliminal perception. So in subliminal, beyond they should. So always go for a beyond. But when it comes to the level, they should is very you can say above, very above. Then it's come English film. Now coming to the dynamics of perception. So it is one of the major principles of perception is dynamics of perception. So if you see, raw sensory inputs by itself does not produce or explain the coherent picture of the world. Indeed, the study of perception is what we subconsciously add to or subtract from raw sensory inputs to produce our own private picture of the world. So there are three aspects of the perception in dynamic perception. One is perceptual selection, perceptual organization, and perceptual interpretation. So we have seen this in the definition of perception. So first is perceptual selection. So what exactly perceptual selection is? It is to recognize the stimuli selected based on two major factors. The first comes with the consumer previous experience, and second comes their motives at the time of purchasing. Okay, so if we see, so there are four important concepts concerning the perception. The first is selective exposure. So selective exposure, consumers actively seek out messages uh, that they find pleasant or with which they are sympathetic. Okay, that is selective. And they actively avoid painful or threatening ones. They also selectively expose themselves to advertisement that reassure them of the wisdom of their purchase decision. So always select sympathetic and some selective. They avoid a painful or threatening advertisements. And next comes the selective attention. So consumers exercise a great deal of selectivity in terms of the attention. And they give commercial stimuli. They have heightened awareness of stimuli that meet their needs or interest and minimal awareness of stimuli irrelevant to their needs. So they give attention to only the selective things. Thus, consumers are likely to note ads for products that would satisfy their needs and disregarded those in which they have not interest. If any advertisement coming in a car for an Audi, so obviously we avoid it because that is not an attention to us. So if I am feeling problem of if girls are feeling problem regarding the pimples, so any advertisement products related to pimples, that attention will be drawn. And third is perceptual defense. So consumers subconsciously screen out stimuli that they find psychologically threatening, even though exposure has already taken place. So thus threatening or otherwise damaging stimuli are less likely to be consciously pursued than the neutral stimuli at the same level of exposure. So psychologically threatening, okay, here important word is psychological threatening if you see. So exposure has already taken place. So threatening or otherwise damaging stimuli are less likely to be consciously pursued than are neutral stimuli at the same level of exposure. Coming to the perceptual blocking, consumer protect themselves from being bombarded with stimuli by simply tuning out. Okay, blocking such stimuli from conscious awareness because that might harm them. So they do not, they do so out of self-protecting because of the visual overwhelming nature of the world in which we live. So papillarities such as devices, TiVo and replay TV, which enable viewers to skip over TV commercials with great ease, is in part a result of perceptual blocking. Even this is option is available in your skip ad. You can do that. Some without ad movie, zero ad movie. So such all comes under perceptual blocking. Now moving to the second one, that is perceptual organization. So the principles of perceptual organization is first developed by Gestalt and referred to as Gestalt psychology. So he has three basic principles for perceptual organization. First is figure ground, second is grouping, and third one is closure. When we look at figure ground, so when people, if you can observe yourself also, people have tendency to organize their perception into figure and ground relationship. How a figure ground pattern is pursued can be influenced by prior pleasant or painful association with one or the other element in isolation. So if you look at the picture, you have two options. You can find two people over there, or even you can find a design over there. So that is totally based on the how we figure it ground. Now coming to the perceptual grouping in organizing. So individuals tend to group stimuli so that they form a unified picture of impression. So the perception of stimuli as a group of chunks of information rather than as a discrete bits of information. So facilitates their memory and they can recall the information. So grouping can be used advantageously by marketers to simplify a certain desired meaning in connection with their products. So they take such an information and group them in such a way so that chunk of information will help them to take decision, and they store it in their memory and they can recall it. Now this is the laws of perceptual grouping: A, B, proximity, closure, and continuity. So first, if you see similarity, and then proximity, and then comes the continuity information, and third one is closure type. Now coming to the closure, individuals have a need for closure. They express this need by organizing their perceptions so that they form a complete picture. If the pattern of stimuli to which they are exposed is incomplete, they tend to perceive. So, nevertheless, as a complete, that is, they consciously or subconsciously fill in the missing pieces. So, that is the closure part of the organizing perception. So, anything is missing, so that they will be closing to it by taking the information. Now, moving further, perceptual interpretation, that is the third concept. So the interpretation of stimuli is uniquely individual because it is based on what they expect to see in the light of previous experience. So number of plausible explanations they can envision, motives and interests at the time of perception. That depends on the individual. Now moving to the perceptual distortion. So first comes in perceptual distortion is physical appearance. So people like those people who are smart and beautiful. Obviously, we all know this. And second, stereotypes. Black and white men are arrested together, meaning that white arrests black. Okay, so that is comes under stereotype of people. And first impressions. People love at first sight. Whatever they see, they love it at the first sight. So jumping to conclusion, you will be slim or heavy if you purchase this product. So this can say directly to the conclusion of the as an end or end result, you can say outcome. Halo effect, whenever one thing can be interpreted from different angle, those that fall as a halo effect. Now we will go to the consumer image. So what exactly consumer image is? Consumers have a number of enduring perceptions or images that are particularly relevant to the study of consumer behavior. So products and brands have symbolic value for individuals. If I say Nike, if I say Puma, if I say Coca-Cola, if I say Audi, if I say Mercedes-Benz, if I say Tata, if I say Reliance, so you will get some more information in your mind. So who evaluate them on the basis of their consistency with their personal picture of themselves. So if you go to somewhere, if you imagine yourself while sitting on a bullet or a Royal Enfield, so you can imagine yourself how you look like. Depends on the personality. Now, in this, we will study product positioning. So what exactly product positioning is? So the essence of successful marketing is the image that a product has in the mind of the consumer, that is positioning. So you might have seen advertiser always come up with new advertising to again and again position the product in the consumer mind. So positioning is more important to the ultimate success of a product than its actual characteristics. So if I say cold is coming, so obviously you will remember the Vaseline. Okay, so if we talk about, let's go for beverages. Okay, soft drinks. So suddenly come in your mind, either you will come with Coca-Cola or you will come up with Pepsi. So all the products are poorly made will not succeed in the long run on the basis of image alone. Till today, everyone remembers Dalda because of the brand image that has created in Vanaspati, and Bisleri water, mineral water. Everyone call any mineral water as a Bisleri water. Now, product repositioning, again, it plays an important role for the marketers. So regardless how well positioned a product appears to be, the marketers may be forced to reposition it in response to market events such as competitor cutting into the brand's market share or too many competitors stressing the same attribute. So that time we have to go on repositioning. Earlier, the communication, you can say, the telecom sector used to market, different telecom companies to market on the basis of data, call charges and international calls and call services. But now they are marketing on the basis of, mostly on the basis of internet. So that is the repositioning required. Now moving further, we will now know what is perceived price. Okay, it is most important one to know how the consumer perceives the price, as a high, low, or as fair. We can say reasonable. So the consumer must be made to perceive the price which he is paying is fair. So no one will be happy to know that they have paid twice the price. If you go to hotel, if you go to service, if you purchase any product, so you might have seen some reviews on Flipkart or on Amazon. The price is too high for the product as compared to the brand. So perceived price always matters a lot for the marketers when the consumer is purchasing the product. Now, if you look at reference price, a reference can be external or internal. It can be any price that consumer uses as a basis for comparison in judging another price. So you always look at the price comparison with the brands. So if you go to purchase a Philips trimmers, they are highly cost. But if you look at Nova and HTC, they are very low cost. But when you look at the brand, if you pay Philips, then you feel that you have paid value for it. Now next comes the perceived quality. That again, the most important thing judged by the consumers. So consumers usually judge the quality of a product or services with the other attributes relating with it. So such related factors become important to understand in order to satisfy the customers. So quality matters a lot. So if you see perceived quality of the product, cues that relate to physical characteristic of the product like color, flavor, or aroma, size, etc. If you look at biscuits, if you go to retail store or any retail market, you might observe this experience. If you dark fantasy chocolate packaging, if you see, it's very cost also, and it depicts the quality of the product. Now coming to the perceived quality of the services, the service is more difficult for the consumer to evaluate. So it is because it is intangible, it's always variable, and it is perishable. So they are produced and consumed at the same time, but depends on the people, process, and physical evidence. So price and quality relationship, if we see. So the studies have found out that consumers rely on price as an indicator of product quality. Higher the price, higher the quality. That consumers attribute different quintiles to identical products that carry different price tag, and that such consumers characteristics as age and income affect the perception of values. So always we believe that higher the price and higher the quality of the product. Now if you see the price or quality relationship, perception of price is an indicator of product quality that we have already discussed. So higher the price, higher the perceived quality of the product. Now moving further, so perceived risk, if you see, that is already we have seen in the last that perceived quality and perceived price. Now we will see the perceived risk. So what exactly it is? It is the uncertainty a consumer has when buying items, mostly those that are particularly expensive. For example, car, house, and computers. So these are very costliest thing. If you purchase, if it not success, then there will be a huge risk. So every time a consumer consider buying a product, or he or she has certain doubts about the product, especially if the product in question is highly priced. So always they are bothered about the risk associated with the product. The perceived risk varies depending on the person, the product, the situation, and the culture. So you can just look at classes here: middle class, rich class, and poor class. So if you see here, the obviously perceived risk depends on the type of family we belongs to. Now going to next types of perceived risk. The first comes the functional risk. It is the risk that product will not perform as expected. Okay, that is the functional. How we expected it, so that is not performed in that connection. So that fall under functional risk. And second one is a physical risk. Is the risk to sell and others that a producer may pose. Okay, it is like physical harm to the consumer. And next is financial risk. It is the risk that the product will not be worth its cost. So, okay, whatever we are paying for it, and it is not valued about that much. And the fourth is social risk, is the risk that product choice will bruise the consumer's ego. Okay, so that is social risk we face when consumer is taking the product. And next comes the fifth one, that is time risk. Is the risk that the time spent on in the product such may be wasted if the product does not perform as expected. So if you go, for example, if I say you go to a movie while purchasing it, and we go there, and whatever service we have purchased to watch the movie, that has been gone down. Next is how consumers handle the risk. Obviously, you feel that how you might observe yourself also when you are purchasing goods and services. So if you see how they actually consumer handle, first if you see consumers seek information. So before purchasing any product, they spend huge time on asking the information. They might ask friends, they must ask family and other people even on the blogs also. Next comes consumers are brand loyal. Okay, so be with the brand, loyal to avoid the risk, trying the new thing. Consumers select by brand image, obviously. So when consumers have no experience with the product, they trust the brand name. The consumers often think about the well-known brand worth buying and go for the products, which is famous in the market to reduce the risk. And next is consumers reply on store image. That matters a lot. If the consumer do not have any information about the product, they trust the merchandise buyers of a reputable stores and depend on them. So they believe that those stores can provide them valuable information, and whatever they are going to purchase from them, it will be risk-free. Consumers buy the most expensive model. Yes. So when in doubt, the consumer feel that the most expensive model is probably the best in terms of quality and price. So you might have gone through this. So purchasing any XYZ brand in clothes, so you would prefer Raymond or Peter England or Louis Phillips. Okay. And next comes consumers seeking reassurance. So consumers who are uncertain about the product choice seek for reassurance through money back guarantees and warranty or trial usage. So you can see online businesses nowadays, you can exchange the products of online within 30 days, 15 days, 10 days written policies comes up with this. And some more electronic come with the warranty or a guarantee. So they ask these things so that they can reduce the risk, 1 year, 2 year warranty. So here we end with the perception model. So please go through the textbooks to know the more examples.